Switching gears again, I think all Republicans in Idaho are call themselves pro-life. So that's not a really a you know big distinction on the right. However, now that the Supreme Court's overturned Roe v. Wade and the issue is returned to the states, now it's more we got to do more than just say we're pro-life and hope that they'll eventually overturn the decision. We actually have the ability to get things done, and we've got the heartbeat bill and the trigger law that are both in place now, although they're tied up in litigation. What do you think of those laws specifically, and would you like to see anything further done regarding abortion?
Well, I think it's just an absolute tremendous victory to reverse Roe v. Wade and leave it on the states. Again, the legislation in the legislature requires 50% plus one in both houses in the signature of the governor or an override, and that's pretty high standard. So you're not going to normally get perfect bills. From a moral standpoint, you might feel like there should never ever be any abortion in the future of humanity again. But we've lost ground on a lot of Constitution issues, little by little by little over the years. And when we can have a big win, like this reversal of Roe v. Wade is certainly a very big win. And fortunately, Idaho was ahead of the curve on having a law to come into place in case that were to happen. The big wins are wonderful, but sometimes we just have to take it in increments and get what we can while we can, and improve society, bring more justice. They say the wheels of justice turn very slowly, which is usually the case. And if we can increase a sense of justice and reduce the amount of injustices in increments, we take it in increments when we have to. And that's the way I see the current status of the pro-life situation. When my mom, when she got pregnant with me, she already had a little baby in her arms. She knew that her marriage was over, and she desperately did not want to be pregnant. And so when I was a young child, she was very open with me. We were a very close-knit family of three growing up. She didn't remarry during our childhood years. My brother was just a little bit older than me. And so she admitted to me that she had, really tried to provoke a miscarriage. And I grew up very, very, very strongly pro-life all my life, knowing that I would not have existed if it weren't the law that ultimately protected me. I was in my 50s when I found out from my aunt, and it was after my mom had passed away, that not only had she done some things to her body to try to provoke a miscarriage, but she had actually gone to an illegal abortion location. And my aunt went with her. And ultimately what happened was, for some reason, a very good-hearted nurse who was an employee of that abortion place went in to have a one-on-one with my mom and talked her out of the abortion. And one of the things the nurse had mentioned to her was that, you do have family members that love you and want to help support you. And so I grew up with not only a strong pro-life position, which I've maintained ever since and always will, but at the same time, a real sympathy to mothers who are in that plight and they're not seeing their future as even possible to care for a baby. So we really, really have to step up as a society, as churches, as just people who care about humanity, to do what we can to support pregnant women and encourage them and help them to see that they're going to make it. And once they meet their baby, they're going to love their baby. And if they're that desperate, they also have the option to put that baby up for adoption. And there are so many parents who would love to adopt a newborn. you know, my daughter's even pregnant again right now, and we're making family plans to have that baby adopted. But we just have to really, really be committed to this. We can't just be totally selfish and into ourselves and say we don't have any responsibility to help the poor, to help the homeless, to help the hungry, to help widows and orphans and pregnant mothers who are very desperate. We have to take it upon ourselves to help humanity.